Ah, all right, here we go with today's video. I was gonna do one the other day, but then my camera started doing weird things and disconnected and had some technical difficulties. So I guess I wasn't meant to do one the other day. But here we go. I was thinking about doing something with meditation and spirituality. I've been spiritual for a while now. I just haven't really expressed it. I kind of keep it to myself. Like I was talking in the past video, I just, didn't want to be looked at as strange, didn't want to be looked at as an outcast. I've always been trying to fit into groups my whole life and just try to fit in, and I'm beginning to realize that I just got to be me, and wherever that group is, it will be. Because if you try to fit in somewhere and be someone you're not, you're never going to be fully spiritual. You're never going to be fully you. Because part of being spiritual is being you, whatever that is in the inside. Because if we sit there and look at the outside world and try to arrange the things we do to fit that mold, then what are we doing? I mean, you got to do what's in your heart. You got to do what's in your soul. You got to do what's on the inside. Because we all have that stuff. So there's something on the inside of all of us. It's just whether or not we listen to it. But the outside world likes to tell us, don't listen to that. Do what we say. Buy all this stuff. The only way you're going to be happy is if you have a Lamborghini. The only way you're going to be happy is if you have a fancy house, if you have a fancy car. Now, again, that's like I said before, I don't have a problem with material things, but my thing is, don't let them define who you are. You got to be who you are, and then maybe you can manifest those things. Or again, I'm not against it. I just feel like we can't let those things determine who we are, but that's the way the outside world does it, because it shows that we found a way to get these things, which is all great, but at the end of the day, don't let them define you. So for me, I feel like this is who I am, and I can't not be it anymore. So that, and I'm using myself as an example to show everybody that you need to do it too. If you ever want to be aligned with the divine being that's inside you, if you want to connect with source energy, which is that God-like energy that flows to all of us, and we can access this. All of us can. All of us are capable. I don't remember exactly how Jesus said it, but there's that thing where he said, you can create better miracles than I have. But we just don't believe that for some reason. And he meant it. Like, we can all, because that's what he was doing, was tapping into that divine source of energy, that God energy. But it's like blasphemy if we're going to say that we're, oh my God, we're separate from God, or, God, that we're part of God, that we can co-create with him. And people will be like, oh my God, don't say that. And it's like, well, maybe it's just because it's true. And they don't want to realize that how powerful we are and how powerful we can become. So they try to distract us on the outside and tell us all these things that aren't real, that aren't false. And I'm going to go deep into this one day. I think I might even write a book about it, but that's a different day. But like, there's so many things to make us feel small, to keep us where we're at, when the divine God co-creation is so strong. That energy, but you have to, allow it to come into you and express it. So that I haven't quite figured out how to explain, but it just kind of came to me today when I was doing my meditation, because I felt that thing is that energy that you feel inside you has to be let out. I can't let it not be. We can't let it not be. We all have to become who it is we're supposed to be without fear. Push through the fear. Push through those things in the outside world that tell us that we're not enough, that tell us that, well, we don't have a great car, that we can't create that, and that we can't be someone more, because we can be. But like, when I was looking today too, I was just kind of looking some things up too, and like some divine principles kind of came up that I kind of wanted to tie all this in with. There were 7 of them. So the first one is, I'll just go through them. The first one's love and compassion. The second one's gratitude. 3rd, purpose. 4, integrity. 5, presence. 6, forgiveness. And 7, growth. So love and compassion, obviously, I'm not saying it's okay, but all of us are at the level that we're at, and even when people hurt us or do something stupid to us or attack us or just aren't doing the things we think they should be doing, any of those things, people make mistakes. It's part of life. I mean, the goal is not to make mistakes, but it just happens. I mean, we can only do the best that we can under the circumstances we're in each moment to moment. And, sometimes it's those moments maybe where I'm not saying don't say anything and just let it all go, but still have love and compassion towards those people because and I know it's hard. Trust me, at times when I'm at work, the customers get a little bit, hard to deal with at times. But I've learned to give them the benefit of the doubt and just kind of let it go and just kind of be, kind to them and compassionate about it, and realize that that's just where people are at. Not everybody's had the same upbringing, not everybody's had the same experiences, so they're on their own journey wherever it is. Just kind of, let it be. So, and then the second one, gratitude. And this one is kind of hard for me sometimes too, because I get so focused on what I was just saying with the outside world, because I get caught up into it sometimes and think what I don't have. And I feel like, and Wayne Dyer used to always say, when you focus on what you don't have and what you don't want, don't be surprised if more of that keeps showing up. So I think the gratitude is a good thing, is start to appreciate the abundance, beauty, and everything that you do have. A roof over my head, food on the table, this setting here to at least get this content out. I have so many things to be grateful for, and even if I'm not where I want to be or not where I want to go, at least I've got an opportunity to pursue that. And at least we haven't, because that's all we can ask for in this world is an opportunity. And being grateful for, and I am grateful for the opportunity to do this. I just need to get on here more again and get going. So I'm gonna focus on being grateful for the opportunity and doing that some more. So it is good, that's why I like a gratitude journal, or even just paying attention to, some people say start the day with writing down 3 things you're grateful for. And just keep doing it. And the more that you practice gratitude, the more that you will, attract things to be grateful for. So, and then the third one is purpose. And that's the thing, is living in your alignment with your personal mission, your calling, or whatever it is that excites you, like gets you excited. And even if it doesn't, even if it doesn't make you money, even if it doesn't do anything, just do something that you enjoy. To put the content, or put yourself out there in situations, joins groups, whatever it is that you feel like you're called to do. You have to have like that feeling on the inside, and that's kind of what I have with all of this. Is I have that call to be, all right, I need to start talking about this stuff more, because I've ignored this for years and I can't do that anymore. So I hope to inspire more people to know that it's okay. There's for me to be on here and say these things, there's going to be people that disagree with me. There's going to be people that don't like my content. There's going to be people that are going to be upset. But there's also going to be people that are going to hear this and be impacted. There's also people that are going to hear it and be like grateful. There's going to be people that hear it and say, hey, you know what? Maybe I need to start doing that too. Maybe there's some things in my life that I need to pay more attention to too. So again, but if I don't put it out there, then the people that gravitate towards it will never be able to gravitate towards it. So we all have that something, no matter what it is. And if people make fun of you for it, well, that's on them. Most time, if people are making fun of you or mad at you, it's because they're not happy on the inside. And then we go back to that love and compassion. I say a peaceful prayer for them, and I wish them the best. I hope they find it out. But I got to do my thing, as we all got to do our things. So, and then the fourth one's integrity. And this one's the one I'm having a little bit of problem with myself right now, because it's like acting in ways that align with your values and principles, honestly, and being accountable for yourself. And right now, my job's the biggest thing, because I'm starting to not agree with some of the stuff that they're doing now. and I'm like, I might be wanting to get out of there because they definitely are starting to align with my principles. So I feel like that's where there's a little bit of a thing here. It's like I'm all about fairness. I'm all about doing the right thing, and being the best version you can and growing from it, and treating your fellow employees and your stuff with respect and not taking advantage of them. And they're starting to take a little bit of advantage of us. So we'll see where it goes, but that's the thing, is that at some point you got to align to get the full power of all this. You have to align with that, with your values, because if you're not in alignment, you're not going to be able to draw the full spiritual energy inside you. You still might have some energy in there, but you're not going to have the whole full power of it. Now again, it's something that you develop over time. If you're not quite there yet, don't beat yourself up about it. Just keep moving in the direction of trying to align yourself more with your goals and principles and values. And then the fifth one's presence. That I'm sure you've all heard, present moment awareness, being present in the moment. I know that I try to do it at times, like even being on here, I try to just be present in the moment and let whatever it is come to me, like flow through me, and try to be here. Not worry about what's going to happen in an hour from now, not worrying about what's already happened. Just being in this moment right now, because all there ever is now. The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle talks about it. There is no past, there is no future, there's always just now. But then we have the memory of the past and we have the anxiety of what's going to happen in the future. Well, if you can live in the present moment and be fully engaged in this moment, then you're capable of doing more than you thought you could before. I started practicing this technique in softball, like, stepping in that batter's box. I don't care about what's going on in my life. I don't care about what's going to happen tomorrow. It's me and the pitcher. And, taking some deep breaths and focusing in on what's going on right now. I can't worry about what's going to happen later or what's already happened or what everybody in the crowd thinks. It's just me and him. And then, when I started doing that, the more I started focusing on that, the better hitter I became, because I let all the distractions go. But that's just an example in life. You got to focus in on what it is you're doing in this moment. Because again, the past already happened. There's nothing we can do about it except learn, and the future's not here yet. So if we can be present in this moment, then we'll have more power in this moment to do something more, like focus on the next step instead of looking at the top of the mountain. You want to get to the top of that mountain, but you're not going to get there if you keep focusing on it. You got to focus on what's in front of you until you get up there and you see the peak, then you get up there. So again, just be trying to remember. I know sometimes if I'm like everything's distracting me, I just always close my eyes and take a couple deep breaths and tell myself to relax, focus, and be present. And it seems to help out. I mean, nothing's 100%, but the more you practice something, the better you get at it. And then the sixth one is forgiveness. Letting go and resentment and finding peace. That doesn't mean you have to talk to the person that hurt you anymore. That doesn't mean that you don't have a right to be angry. But when you hold that resentment and you hold that pain, then you just keep doing it. I mean, Wayne Dyer used to always say, if you want to seek revenge, you better start by digging 2 graves, one for you and one for them, because you're only hurting yourself. What's done is done. I've had a lot of people hurt me over life. I've had a lot of people do things that I just haven't, been happy about. But at the end of the day, holding on to that regret and that resentment, it's not really, it just doesn't do anything beneficial for you. Because again, maybe that hurt was to make you learn something. Maybe you needed that. Maybe it's karma. Maybe it's something from a past life. We don't know. I mean, I believe there's karma. I believe there's many lives. I feel like I've done this before. And I feel like sometimes that's where our memories come from, where I sometimes think, like, if you have afraid of falling, that you might have fell and died in your past life. And that's how you died. So you're afraid of it. You're like, man, I don't like heights. And you're like, wonder why. And like any little thing like that, I feel like that's where some of our innate fears come from, is our past lives. That's why I believe like some of these child prodigies that come, they were a great piano player in their past life, and they just remember it in this one, but they don't have any recollection of it. The skills there still in the brain, but the recollection of doing it before is gone. That's like that's the game of life, is not knowing and not remembering all that stuff. So, but again, I just believe, and we have to figure ourselves too. We've always made mistakes. We're always going to make mistakes. The goal is just try to be better and learn from them, and try not to do the same thing over and over again. It's like that insanity thing, doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. If you want a different results, you have to do something different. But anyway, so forgiving others and forgiving yourself, I think, are two key things there. So, and then the last one, the seventh one, is growth, which is kind of what I've been talking about this periodically through this whole thing, is accepting what's happening in your life, learning from it. And again, sometimes you don't get those lessons while you're going through it, man. Sometimes I've been going through the last few weeks when I haven't been on here, hasn't been easy. But then, like today, that meditation just kind of got me. And then I was like, oh man, I've been doing that. And then the realization of I've been letting outside circumstances control me for the last couple of weeks. And it was getting to be too much. And today I just realized, what are you doing? And that shows that I'm not perfect. We're none of us are. We're human beings. A lot of people like to say we're a spiritual being in a human body, and I believe that. It's just that sometimes in this human body we forget about that. We forget that because we have all these rules in the physical dimension that I believe that keeps us grounded here, but we can also rise above them and bring spirit and unlock our spirit that's inside of us and become more and do more and experience more. And I believe that sometimes some of these opportunities, even when we don't like them, are there to teach us something. And they suck sometimes. I mean, I've been going through it. I've been through other times in my life that have been very difficult. But I've always found something better on the other side. Even if I couldn't see it when I was going through it in that moment, there was something after it all settled down that I was like, wow, you know what? I played my role in what was just going on too. And I had to take responsibility for it myself. And then that's when you actually see the growth. You have to take responsibility for your actions. Even if you didn't mean it, even, show some remorse, forgiveness, all that stuff. Love and compassion for yourself too. I messed up. Okay, how can I learn? I felt bad. Why not try to do something different again, and if that situation presents itself again? It's all about that growth thing, man. We can all do it. I know it sucks, and our ego wants us to have everything perfect, that people should be kind to it. And there's always going to be people that aren't going to be. There's going to be people that don't follow these principles too. There's plenty of them out there. And maybe someone will come across this video and maybe start to practice some of these themselves. And that's the challenge. That's the game of the whole thing. That's rising above what's going on in your world. So again, we have to remember that too, that it's not always going to go the way that we want it to. It's going to go the way that it does, and it's up to us to learn from this and figure out a way to be better, to maybe handle things better, to show love and compassion, be grateful, live with purpose, integrity, try to be present in the moment, forgive others and yourself, and look for opportunities for growth. And if you don't see them, or you're really going through the stuff, just persevere through it, and I promise at some point you'll get through it. So again, and I also believe that meditation helps you be more in tune with all these principles. That's why I always talk about it so much, because being in the moment and breathing and relaxing and telling yourself to settle down and be, when everything's getting chaos, I always try to tell myself, all right, relax, let's focus on the moment, let's see what we can do, and try to get better at this every day. And I think meditation helps, focus by breathing, because breathing, when you focus on your breathing and everything, it helps bring you back into this present moment. It helps ground you in this, and start to visualize some of this stuff too. Visualize that energy coming through you. There's a thing Tony Robbins does in his priming, where he envision the light come down and ground you into the earth, and then go back out, come down again, go back out. There's things you can do. I used to always just, when I was starting to do my meditations years ago, which I probably should get back to it, I would visualize myself seeing light come into me, and just visualize it. And if it makes you feel better at times, but I feel like meditation practice is something to help me embody these more. So again, but anyway, I hope this impacts some people. Just keep working at it. Just remember we're not perfect, and just keep trying to do the best you can in every moment. And like and subscribe. I want to keep getting this stuff out there. We'll be back more. And yeah, have a good day.